One of the things we need to be doing is opening up the door electronically and just showing what we're doing. The public's hungry for that. I mean, just 2 days ago, I typed cattle feed yard and cattle feed lot into YouTube, and what did I get in the top pages of hits? Feed wagon dishing up feed. Something that you'd think is totally mundane, but to the public, that's interesting. I just was talking to some young man that's doing a speech competition today, and I said, look, cut out all the political, abstract BS. Why don't you just tell about what you do on your family's orchard, and that you're not like poisoning the whole world with pesticides and things like that. You know, what are you doing to do things right in your orchard? And just explain it like a training video. That's going to go over a whole lot better. Another thing that's learned is you cannot understaff and overwork. If you understaff and overwork, you're not going to get good work. Recently I did a meeting, it was in California, and I had somebody ask me, how do I get my workers to care about the cattle? And I said, are you working them 10-hour shifts 6 days a week? Yes. Well, they're not going to care that much about the cattle at the end of those shifts. I've worked on those kind of hot shifts, and I'm not very proud of some of the shots I gave. I was just too tired and too hot. When I'm working with customers like McDonald's, Burger King, Whole Foods, Nyman Ranch, Country Natural Beef, it doesn't matter which one it is, one of the things I emphasize in supply chain management is you got to make sure that you're doing the stuff you say you're doing. So there's 3 legs on this is non-governmental private auditing system. You need to have third-party audits, but you also have to what's called corporate audits. Like a typical McDonald's system, all the plants are third-party audited, but then a certain percentage of the plants get a corporate audit, because you've got to make sure the third-party auditors are doing their job, and then they got to do internal audits. And then with the peanut butter fiasco and the chicken egg mess, they were third-party audited, not very well, and there were no corporate audits. You say Skippy and Peter Pan didn't caught in the peanut butter mess because they had delisted the bad plant. And I have seen pigs where they got them so loaded on Pannone and their leg conformation was so bad and the farmer had never walked the pens, these pigs were unhandleable. We also fixed it by reducing Pannone use. They didn't ban it, but they reduced it. Getting rid of one bore line had horrible conformation and making the producers walk the pens, and we fixed the problem. I mean, there's some things you just got to get rid of, and there's other things you just got to show what you do and show it to the public. And then there are a few input standards you still need, but we need to get away from the minutia of design stuff. Things like space requirements. Right now there's a big controversy about the chickens touching the other birds, which the colony housing does follow that rule. When you raise chickens in a cage-free system, the birds all cluster together, and when they fly, they do touch other birds because they choose to stay together. Well, some of this, one of the things, some of the meat plants, they controlled the truck drivers, where certain truck drivers were just kicked out of the plants. They didn't haul with them. I think some of this, you've got to just say to the truck driver, you're not going to use a hot shot. And if more people control what the truck drivers do, I've seen situations where truck drivers, you got 5 trucks out there, and they got 5 guys on the side of the ramp zapping everything. I've seen that. On the other hand, I have a friend who's a cattle truck driver, and he doesn't do any of those kind of bad things. And I think one of the things is producers need to just say, police this and say, no, you're not going to put the hot shot all over my cattle. Then you also have the situation of driving, that bad driving, stopping on the brakes and speeding up all the time, you're going to get problems.